I welcome this opportunity to address you on the occasion of this year's Smart City Expo World Congress in my capacity of Mission Manager for the EU Mission for 100 Climate-Neutral and Smart Cities. I'd like to start with the key contribution of cities and urban areas to the goals of the European Green Deal. Cities are important players in the global fight against climate change, as they consume over 65% of the world's energy and account for 60 to 80% of global CO2 emissions. In Europe, cities take up only 4% of the land area, but they are home to 5% of our citizens. Cities are indispensable partners, therefore, as they are at the level closest to the citizens and at the forefront of events, whether it's the COVID-19 pandemic, the devastating consequences of climate change, the Russian invasion in Ukraine, and the crisis in global energy markets. Urban initiatives such as the EU Mission for 100 Climate-Neutral and Smart Cities, the Smart Cities Marketplace, the Covenant of Mayors, the EU City Facility, Civitas, Living in EU, or the Green Capital Award can provide direct support to cities and promote opportunities for information exchange and peer learning. This is vital to reach the target of the European Green Deal to become the first climate-neutral continent by 2050. My first message is that climate-neutral and smart cities mission sets the ambitious aim of delivering 100 climate-neutral and smart cities by 2030. It also seeks to empower these cities to become role models for all European cities to become climate neutral by 2050. And the 100 EU cities selected for the cities mission represent 12% of the total EU population, and they mirror well the broad diversity of the European cities landscape. Urban transformations need to be systemic. This not only requires technological innovation, but also fundamental changes in governance, institutional and policy frameworks, financial instruments, and social innovation. And cities seek to achieve the necessary transformations through democratic, transparent, and participatory decision-making processes for empowerment and buy-in by all relevant stakeholders, actors, and of course, citizens. The Cities Mission platform, run by a consortium of 33 organisations under the project Net Zero Cities, is up and running and building a community of practice, which I wholeheartedly invite you to join. It connects with many of the urban initiatives present here in Barcelona at this Congress. My second message is that a critical element of the Cities Mission is to reach out to local communities and engage with Europe's citizens. This is essential to ensure societal uptake of new solutions and approaches to make cities more sustainable. Citizens' perspectives are especially important in fundamental transformations. And during its conceptual phase, the Cities Mission organised 13 citizens' engagement events across EU member states to ensure that the design of the mission takes into account the lived experience of people in our cities. And in the implementation phase, we're now asking cities to involve people from the very beginning in the development of the climate city contracts that they are working on. The notion of climate neutrality is sometimes a bit abstract, but what we can all relate to are the practical co-benefits of initiatives like the Cities Mission. Well-designed climate-neutral policies will lead to cleaner air, safer streets, less noise, in short, better places to live. And when people are polled on their personal priorities for cities' transition towards climate neutrality, the overwhelming majority indicated 4 key priorities. First, mobility. Second, energy. Third, urban infrastructure. And fourth, behavioural change. And all these areas resonate with the cross-section of Commission urban initiatives joining forces for this year's Smart City Expo World Congress, which come together under the umbrella of this session. A third pivotal element of the Cities Mission is building synergies between EU initiatives and projects, many of which are present here. And we have a shared interest in making links with national and regional programmes and by creating new connections with other actors. And I believe that this session is living proof of this vision, creating incentives and synergies across the landscape of EU actions, including in areas of funding and financing. And I can already highlight 3 successful examples for the Cities Mission. First, we've included an explicit reference to the Cities Mission in the Connecting Europe Facility Transport calls for proposals. Second, there is also a clear reference to the city's mission in the LIFE programme for strategic integrated projects. And thirdly, many regions are now including references to the city's mission in their operational regional programmes. Other positive examples for funding and financial support across sectors are the EU City Facility with its dedicated grant scheme and the Smart Cities Marketplace, which is an important part of this year's Smart City Expo World Congress, brokerage and matchmaking activities. In closing, I'd like to invite you all to follow and join forces with the Horizon Europe Cities mission, as well as other EU cities initiatives to leverage resources and capacities across Europe through intense collaboration. And I am confident that you will all take insights and inspiration from today's session back to your homes, desks and offices. And I hope that this will help our combined efforts to deliver European towns and cities which are better, greener and ultimately safer places to live. And in this sense, we can serve as an exciting pioneering examples for towns and cities worldwide. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all a successful Congress.